Hi, my name is Zachary Angelette, and I'm going to be going over sort of how I added sort of like an AI language processing kind of a feature into a library, SugarGen. This library I just kind of made so that other people can kind of borrow from this and use it or do whatever they want to do to kind of simplify things. It's more or less kind of used for CLI stuff, but anywho, just to give it a run through, I guess you could say. Let me get rid of some of this stuff just so that it kind of simplifies what's going on. So in order to get the ball rolling, you would kind of go here, and then you could take basically this, or no, I'm sorry, this, and put it into your program. Now you yourself probably have to run, go get, and then the name of the library, obviously. And I use this from this guy who kind of made the, I don't know how to pronounce it, prose. His name is Joseph Cato. I wouldn't have figured out if he hadn't kind of designed it. Anywho, to get it rolling, you would take this library, and I mean, you could use his, but I just kind of simplified it a little bit. You do run go get that library. Be a little different setup for you, but anywho. Now, how is this set up? Well, it's got some functions. This basically gets the ball rolling. You set up the name of the model. You set up the file that you're going to be training that model on, and then I kind of went over this before with it asking a question. That's kind of more stuff that's like up here. It has nothing to do with the training part, but it's just a way to give it a sentence, I guess you could say, prove it. And then this gets the data from the trained model glob and spits it out. And then this part checks whether or not, there's some part of that text or whatever, or label, that runs the program. So when you go to run it now, since I don't have the file for the modeling here, and I'll go over that later, it's gonna complain. Please make a JSON file with training data. One can be found here. And this is like a kind of a simplified file sort of deal. It's not complete or anything. Anywho, it's just a JSON array. It doesn't do like crazy embedding or anything like that, although you could probably easily set it up too. But you name it the same file you named here, which is server.json. You add in the data. How's this data set up? Well, text is basically like the question you're going to ask it, in a sense, if you want to think about it that way. Spans is where is the important part of the text in that sentence. How many characters starting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, And label right here is the name of the model that you're going to be training for. So you can have different spans here with the same text and train different models with it. And then answer is it accepted? Is this premise using this text and this portion of it that's important with this model something I actually want it to be trained on? You can put in reject, and reject might be something that you think someone's going to type in, but it just has nothing to do with nothing. So you're training it to say, if it has anything to do with this, just get rid of it. No. So anywho, so it is like your pretend training data, and this can be found inside the project. It's right here, or I'm sorry, it's in the example folder, and it's right here. So if you need it, whatever, I'll put it in the notes. Anywho, so when we go to run it, 0% correct only because it's already been trained, sorta. And what would you like to do? I would like to run the gen server program now. Oh. This is the text that it understands that's important. This is the model that it's, or label, I guess you could say. Say label server. And I mean, it's basically shooting out the entity from the model as data, text, strings, and then you get to do whatever you want with it, like look for the text server, which is the label, because you're checking the label for it. I mean, you could use the text here instead and then do different kind of commands or whatever the checks for, you could. And then it runs this command, as it did. So it's sort of a way to deal with it. And how it works is it sort of takes sentences and words and phrases and tokenizes them. He goes through it with the prose. I mean, you could take what he did and take it apart or whatever. But he goes into how it's tokenized and how it runs and its speed and, you know, all this stuff. The reason why I kind of did a thing on it was because I want it to be really, really broken down, easily used. And I kind of renamed some of the functions just because I felt like he probably named it in the basis of artificial intelligence, how you would name and run models and stuff. I did it more from, I don't know anything about that world, so this is sort of how I'm mentalizing what's going on. You may or may not like the way I did it. You may like his a lot more. I don't know. I wouldn't have been able to figure it out if he hadn't made his library and broke it down, kind of. This guy. See if it. Joseph Cato. I would definitely start a project. And so I just did it in a way that it's only a couple functions, and I kind of commented kind of what's going on, like, oh, it's trying to create the model, it's turning into a document, getting the entity stuff from it, just decoding and encoding. And then this is kind of the logic. This I added in order to remove the model every time you run it, because you can't inject stuff into the model. So yeah, read the file, decode, collect accepted, rejected data. Yeah. And I sort of tried to break it down so that you can extend it or do whatever the heck you want. Really what it comes down to is the data, not the data, but the structures or structs, however you want to describe it. Basically how the structs are set up, and then, you know, where are these. It does get a little deeper that I didn't entirely get into that much. I didn't like totally break down his library, but you could tell even he had used someone else's library in order to make this library. And this is a language processing thing that tokenizes text, and it like goes into it, I guess, if you want to build your own from scratch or whatever. But this kind of uses Python. So yeah, that's generally how you would use it, why you would use it, an example of how to use it, and how you can change it. And hopefully what I broke it down for you. Hopefully this video helps you understand like a basis of it, and hopefully you can use it to do your own thing. Okay, if you have any questions, just I guess let me know, and I'll put all this stuff in the bottom notes. Okay, thank you. Bye.